Okay, your boy's been here figuring things out and has been doing his best to use his brain. And I finally did it. What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Phil Shocker, the 96 Jug here, with a new draft league here for you guys today. And I am super excited for this. We are part of the CAP League. Now, you may be maybe being confused. Okay, what's CAP stand for? Well, I'll get to that in a moment. But first, if you guys are new here, definitely leave a like if you haven't already. Subscribe if you are new. Join the Phil Shocker crew today because you'll be feeling the king of the crew. And with that being said, let's go ahead and get into today's video. This is going to be a draft analysis, obviously, for the CAP League. So let's talk about CAP. So basically, CAP has this format where we get to use cool like fake mons that have, you know, these cool like designed abilities, stats, move pulls, and stuff like that, which is really cool, really awesome, and they're honestly really cool looking Pokemon as well. So there was that as well to factor in. And also, you may ask yourself, how did this league kind of come apart? How did this league come to be? Well, the goats of Draft League, aka being OG Albino, my boy Owen, and my boy Kurt, aka Kirby, just went to Twitter and was like, you know what? If Kurt and I opened up a cap league, who would want to join? And just like that, DMs of the Wazoo. And we actually got up to 12 coaches. We could have almost gone up to around 16, actually, but I think they cut off at 12 just to, for right now, hold it that way. They could have they said they were definitely thinking about possibly opening up the idea to 16, but I think they just cut it at 12 for right now, so it is what it is. But yeah, I'm super excited to be in this league. It has got some of the best players out there. It has Josh, aka Ultra Player. It has some beautiful people like D Ray. It has amazing players like John Jr., might I may add. Obviously, he's got the GOATs, like I said, Owen and Kurt. We have some other great players out there in Bayonet. We have Agar. We have Poise, who's actually in this league as well. And shout outs to my boy Naily, who was in WWC, if you remember his name, and he's in this league too, so that's actually pretty exciting as well. Then we have people like Bick, we have Aaron 12. I don't think I remember anybody else. I'm sorry. And yeah, so with that being said, now let's get into the team that you guys have been waiting for. And I'm not gonna try to make this team recaps about, but I got recap so long. But I'm gonna tell you guys the story of how this went down. So I first off had the 11th pick in the draft, and that sucked because all the best stuff was gone by the time it got to me. So what I'm going to actually show you guys here is a team that I did draft throughout the end of the draft, and then all the transactions I made to now the final product of the team. So, with the 11th pick, I had to really figure out. So, this was the team originally. The team originally was Mizamal, which is the dragon bug type, which had compound eyes. So, that meant things like Draco Meteor and Megahorn. Free. Free every time. Pretty much almost guaranteed knockout hits, and also free offensive prowess. Also, look at the shiny of this boy. Look at the shiny of that thing. That's sick. And then I decided just gonna grab Pokemon that was this, that, and this, and this, and that. So, I went with the team, and this originally was gonna be the team. But then I really looked at what I had weakness wise, and I really wanted to get some stuff. And there was some stuff on the board I had to pick up. Because if I didn't pick that up, I would have been a criminal shame to have done what I did. So I went to made to the brain and made some massive transactions and had to do a lot of math. And for those that don't know me, I hate math. Math is the worst subject ever in school's history. I don't care what people say. Math is the worst one out there. Science comes close. But I can at least stomach science a little bit over math. But excuse me. But I finally went to the factory here. Now, what we're gonna do is I'm gonna talk about the 5 months I originally drafted, explain why I drafted them, and then we're gonna talk about the transactions I made. And as you can see from the transactions, I dropped Keldeo, Ferrofor, Mega Banette, and Hydreigon to pick up these four. But we'll talk about that when we get to it. So let's first talk about the 5 mons that I originally drafted. First off, and these nicknames are going to be based off of actual some of the players in the game. One, I think there's only one on here that doesn't have really a shout outs to a member. I think it's just a funny nickname. But we got first here Mounte the Zero Aura. Mounte actually used Zero Aura in the YCL season where he went completely undefeated. He had this plus Landorus Eye, Sheer Force, and just destroyed it. And I would have named it after his, but I want to just name it after him because he said he loved Zero Aura. So going with that. So we have Zero Aura here. I have not used Zero Aura in a very long time. And then this might be my last chance to use Zero Aura. So I want to have some fun with it. I want to enjoy it, and I want to have like a nice time with it. You know what I mean? So it's going to be a really fun time this season with it, and I'm really excited to see how it does. So Zero Aura is going to be an absolute, excuse me, behemoth this season. It's going to be one of my main mons on this season as well, and it's going to be one of the few elite speed tiers on this team as well. As you're going to find out, I went from having incredible large amounts of speed, then to dropping the speed. so Yeah. Going off with next, I went and grabbed Lando T, aka Vepsis. Vepsis is currently using Lando T and has been really putting in some work with it. So I figured, you know what? He's using it. Got a name after one of the masters of the OU. And after all, Vepsis is a master of the game with, I believe, 17 championships now. Uh, yeah, I think it's fair to say why. So it's the king of OU, king of Draft League. I think it's fair to say that has to be Vepsis. So I went with Lando T to pair with this because honestly, this is one of the most broken pairings to have on the team together. Because they punish whatever they're really weak into, except obviously water ground is a bit of an issue, but we can work around that. But Vepsis. Lando T was really great. I've never really used Lando T. I've only used it one time, and the one time I used it, I won a championship with it. But when it comes down to, excuse me, when it comes to Lando T, I think there's a lot of versatility that has Lando T's offers. There's Access to Gravity, which is actually a really cool set option if you really want to go that route. There was a lot of cool things I want to do. This is also my first rocker, a defog option for the team as well, which I think is really, really great as well about Lando T. And I think the fact just get really two great physical breakers, which one can play more special if I need to in certain matchups, and one be more physical is really, really nice. They definitely do two different things, and plus one or the other is best counted. Like Zero Aura, one of its, if not its main counter in the game, not besides the Nidos, it's Lando. Lando hard walls Zera. Now I grab the thing that hard walls Zera, and this thing now hard walls the Nidos. Well, except when they carry water or ice coverage and I die. But that doesn't matter the point. But but brother saying though, I love this pairing, and this was one of the pairings I was actually really surprised to get to me when I had 11 pick because I got these in 3 and 4 actually, so it was really cool about that. But going to one of my next ones, I actually skipped this round two, and I actually really wish I maybe waited and see if I would have gone this round four actually. But I ultimately went to go and grab this first, and I still don't regret the pick, but I wish I could have maybe gotten it back. But we have Kirby here, Moss, Galar Slowking. Kurt has actually rebranded to a Galar Slowking, so I feel like it was only fair to name him after this. Plus, he's been loving this mon a lot from CDG and from his championship run in the BBL. If you haven't seen it, go check out his championship run. It's awesome. But Gallus Slowking, I've only used this Pokemon one time, and guess what happened? I won a championship with this thing. During the regular season of that run, I didn't have a strong showing with Gallus Slowking, but when it came to the playoffs, Gallus Slowking was the boss. He came in and cleaned up and helped us win the championship at the very end of it, and setting up Dracovish for success. So I'm super excited for Gallus Slowking. I think it's going to be a really good Pokemon for our team. I think Regeneration is going to be really good. Obviously, gives me a good AV user. It also gives you a mon that can play like AV with physically defensive in that type of regard as well. I overall just love what Gather Slowking offers to a team. So it's gonna be super awesome to be playing with Slowking again, and I really cannot wait to try it again. Up next, I actually grabbed Cinderace. We're gonna name it to Shay, my boy Shayquaza. Just because Shay likes having a mon that clicks something like just clicks a button, and that's kind of what Cinderace does. He just clicks some buttons. There's every few times that he's got to run some utility, but he gets to click some buttons. So I'm really excited for Cinderace. Cinderace is gonna be a lot of fun this season, and I cannot wait to have some fun with it. Again, I haven't used it in a very long time, and Cinderace is gonna come up to the season whether or not I can really use this. I have been like mixed bad with it. It's like a problem child of mine. It misses the turns it's not supposed to miss, and then it gets the hits where I appreciate the hits, but the hits don't happen when I want them. So there is that. So, but Cinderace I think is really good. Gives me a base 119 speed tier, which is really nice, and another good physical wall breaker, which is really good. Does get access to Super Fang for the utility and gives me access to Core Change. This is one mon that can also run heavy duty boots every single week and still be effective with it. And one thing with this team I really want to try is to try to be different with this team. Try to use it a lot more different than how I would normally want to use them. So I'm really hoping to be able to pull off some unique sets and try out to be built differently with these mons this week. And the last one I kept on the team is What Am I? I thought this was the perfect nickname for Kecleon because of the fact he does get protein. So the fact that he become an ice type, fighting type, rock type, like he doesn't know what he really is deep down. But what I really liked about this was another mon that gave me a good Spadef answer as well. This was another mon that can play like AV with max like HP max defense and still take hits. Also was another stealth rocker for this team, so give me a second rocker. So this can be almost like my stealth rocker every single week if I really wanted to. An option to take that pressure off of Lando. I really loved Kecleon. And if you guys actually didn't know, I actually used Kecleon to take down a Mega Gyarados, so that was some funny history there. But I really like Kecleon. It's really different. I haven't used it in so long. I've only used it like once, and that was only when I took over a team with it. Other than that, I've never tried Kecleon. It's gonna be an interesting mon. I think Protein's gonna definitely make this mon very unique and very different for me. But I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get into our transactions. So originally, like I said, I had Keldeo, Ferroform, Mega Banette, and Hydreigon. Hydreigon I did not draft. I originally drafted Mizama, originally, but my boy D Ray, he really wanted this Pokemon because he was gonna go into the draft with this option here, and he really wanted it. And you know what? This is a homies league. I want to have some fun. I want to chill out with the homies, have some fun. I literally just said that 10 times again. I don't know why. So you know what? I told DJ, I'll hook you up, brother. We'll go and do it. Unfortunately, when I did that, I ended up not having any Capmons. And immediately Owen gets on me for this. And I was actually kind of looking at it, I was really trying to figure out the pieces to the puzzle to what I can do for a Catmon. And that's when D Ray actually was willing to drop his first pick, which was a Catmon, and was willing to kind of just give it to me because he already picked up, not only did he pick up Mizamon, but he picked up a new Mon for Electric Span with his team, which if we ever face it, you'll understand why. But yeah, so I am super excited for these next four. One is a completely Pokemon I have never seen before, and I get to try two Pokemon I haven't really used at all, and one favorite of mine, which you can already tell. So let's just kick it off with the pickups here. First off, we picked up obviously Tomahawk, which is a flying fighting type Pokemon, which is one of the Capmons out there, which honestly is a really good typing. Honestly, flying and fighting has really good neutral weaknesses that actually can be countered relatively well, and has really good counterbalance against each other, which is really good. And surprisingly enough, it's a special attacker. 85 speed is not that terrible. It's a really good option for Scarf specs options as well. And we're gonna name it D-Ray after my homie D-Ray because of the fact that D-Ray was willing to sacrifice this Pokemon to his team, but he actually had a better flying type on his team in my opinion. And also, can we appreciate the shiny wings on this thing? This thing's awesome because the original one, not really that good, but I actually appreciate the wing color on this, man. It's so nice. But what's really cool about this Pokemon is, again, it gives me options to a cool thing. It gives me access to Intimidate, so now I get dual Intimidators. But what's also really good, I get access to Prankster and Justify. So basically, what Keldeo had, this thing can do it almost as better. And what's really cool about this Pokemon? Oh, it doesn't even learn Tailwind. That's sad. It's actually pretty cool about this Pokemon is that there are some options to things like Prankster Healing Wish. That's next level. Prankster Memento, which is really nice. Prankster Morning Sun for recovery, stuff like that. And it's just really good. Prankster Subs, which can be really nice. Whirlwinds, Yawns. This is going to be some good tech options. I feel like Tomahawks can be really interesting and really unique. I really am excited to try this. But of course, I can't try flying types without getting a steel type that does the exact same. And that is Celesteela. We're going to name it Baymax after, again, my homeboy Kurt and his Walt Disneylanders because Baymax is his child, and I had to pay respect to his child by naming it after that. Celesteela, you all know what I do with Celesteela. I love using Celly, but I really am going to try my best not to always use that same Celly set I always get comfortable with. I want to try to make Celly different, and I want to try to use it different. So I'm hoping and praying I can try my best and not repeat the same set over and over again. But I'm going to hopefully be able to try to make a set that works every single time and it will be comfortable in the way I want it. So there is going to be that. But otherwise, I'm super excited for Celesteela. I'm going to hopefully send it off on a high note with this generation because if we never get to see Celesteela ever again, I want to be able to have fun with it. So there's that. And with my last two, these are the transactions I'm actually most excited for. Actually, we're going to pick it up NCP Nimbus, which was actually the career league of the NCP, which they called Nimbus. Back when John was running NCP for Wi-Fi, I'm pretty sure, because Nimbus I think was the Wi-Fi division. And we're going with Altaria here. Now, I actually have used Mega Altaria, but I unfortunately had to leave a league due to the fact that the league was toxic. There was very much disrespectful players in that league, and I did not feel comfortable and did not feel appreciated in that league and or respected. So I just left the league so I didn't have to deal with the hostility and the negativity. So I didn't get to finish the season. I think the season was 2 weeks or so away, and I think there was a small chance to make playoffs, not guaranteed, but it was something regardless. But overall, I really wanted to give Mega Atari another go around because I feel like really Dragon Fairy paired with Celesteela, that's disgusting. Crimson Seabad, aka Chase, used this core before, and it's actually a really good core. And I think it really also just pairs off with some of the other things I have team. Like I have two other flying types on my team right now, but those two other flying types get carried away with having not only one of them being a ground immunity, but I also have a Volt Absorber on the team as well. And what's also really good is they kind of counteract everything else they have with their teams. So Mega Altaria just fits the bill here because again, it's gonna give me one of my two dragon types, but it's only gonna share one weakness of my two weaknesses of my dragon, but covers the other weaknesses so perfectly well, which I think going double dragon in this type of format, along with the three flying types I have, it's not necessarily the worst thing, especially when this thing can just do so many things. It has options to rest sleep talk, it has options to cotton guard, it has options to be a defogger, it has options to be special, physical. It has so many great ways to be run. And I'm so excited for Mega Altaria. I'm really having for fun. And last but not least, I have to do it for Aquarius. Gaze for Guz. Just because Guzzlord it's been a Pokemon I've been so intrigued with drawing. Obviously, you saw in PBL we used it. Unfortunately, didn't get to go in and really do anything in the matchups. But I really want to try this one. It's been a while on my radar that I've been really wanting to try, and I really needed a dark type. I so badly needed a dark type. I had to choose between this or a water type, and I ultimately went with dark over water, just because with water typing, I kind of have good enough answers to them right now with having Guzzlord, with having two dragons, and having Zeraora. I'm feeling a little confident with that as my water resist, even though those water types do learn ice moves, but those ice moves are not stab. So overall, I'm kind of alright with this type of weakness of water. So, because I was almost willing to pick up Lantern here. But then my ground weakness was just really, really bad, and I really didn't have anything besides my flying types, and I didn't really want that. So I aged more for the water kind of weakness side than the ground weakness type of side. But regardless, I think Guzzlord's gonna be really great. Dark type is really good, and what's funny is I literally dropped this for Hydreigon essentially, which Aquarius has spilled that this Hydreigon's not a Guzzlord, it's not a good Pokemon. So Aquarius, I mean, she proved it right here. I followed in her footsteps. I did what she said, and you know what? It's gonna hopefully benefit me. But yeah, that's gonna be the draft analysis. I'm really, really sorry this video went super long. I never really tried to make my draft analysis this long, but I figured I'd give you guys kind of a cool little story behind everything that went down between this draft that went on for about nearly half a week because there were so many long people taking their time. We had some genres out there, and oh, it was just annoying. But real quick, I'm gonna go ahead and go over my schedule here for you guys. First off, these are all the coaches that I have said here before. There are their teams. Well, let's go over my schedule real quick. First off, we will be taking on Aaron 12 and his Los Santos Septiles, and that's gonna be an interesting matchup. Then we take on my boy Naley, who actually I am kind of excited to face because I haven't faced Naley in a long time in his Columbus Crobats. Then we'll be taking on the Charlotte Bedros and Bennett, who I've never faced before, so it's gonna be very interesting right there. Then we were gonna go and take on the Wes, the Westminster Weaviles. I'm sorry if I butchered that name. And Coach Bick. I've never faced Bick before, so that'll be another interesting matchup there. We will take on the Ironheads, coach of Agar, another coach I have never faced before. And lastly, we will be taking on the Chicago Songbirds and Poise, who I've never played before. And I believe Poise is definitely a very top tier player. But I'm not going to lie, I am so salty. I don't get to face John. I don't get to face Kurt. I don't get to face Owen. I don't get to face D Ray. Hell, I don't even get to face Josh. Like, what the heck, Kurt? Why would you rig the schedule like this, man? But it's all good. It's all fun. I also have to beat them and make it into playoffs and knock these boys out myself. Yeah, I did that. I'm stupid. But if you guys did enjoy the video, leave a like if you haven't already. Subscribe if you're new. Join the First Soccer community if you get the King of the Crew. This is going to be the squad for the Iowa Jolteons. Will we make playoffs? Probably not. Will we have fun? Absolutely. Will we get destroyed? Oh, you better believe it. But I'm here to have some fun, enjoy some time with the homies, and have some great times here. So, like, comment, share, subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Until next time, guys, I'm Phil Shark, and I say that. I'll see you guys later. Peace.